All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of LearnBiz The Podcast. I am Sandy B. Law, and I'm here joined by the lovely Lisa K. Crawford. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, lovely Sandy B, and happy Friday, everyone.
Oh, yes, it is Friday for sure. I'm glad to see this day,
Oh, yeah.
although I'm not looking forward to seeing Monday. So, because you know what happens, it's Friday, then all of a sudden it's Monday.
Yeah, but at least you got Friday first.
I give up. I give up. So, we got plenty of conversation to have with you guys this morning. So, please be sure that you click the like button, click share, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. And please don't forget that you can find us on Instagram at B is for BIZ. You are listening to Learn Biz the podcast. So, we're going to kick it off with a little bit of a follow up because we had a conversation not long ago about the Boston Celtics head coach and his shenanigans with the shenanigans. And so, it's just interesting that, we're circling back to this because there has been an update. Now, I don't know if there's been another update since this last thing that I saw just the other day, but it seems as though the Brooklyn Nets are looking to hire Ime Udoka. Now,
Ooh.
I don't understand how the Boston Celtics are like, nah, we don't want bro. We're just going to put him on a cold ice for a little bit. We're going to suspend him indefinitely. And now we got another team that's like, oh, y'all don't want him, so we're just going to scoop him up. Good morning, Doug. Thank you for joining us as always. I'm sure that you might have a thought on this. But it's just interesting to hear that another team is like, look, we don't care about what you're doing in your personal affairs, even though you were doing it in the workplace. But you've been punished enough, I guess. I don't know what the thought process is, but it says the Brooklyn Nets are finalizing a deal to hire suspended Boston Celtics coach Ime Udoka, and a formal agreement is expected soon. After parting with coach Steve Nash, which is the Brooklyn Nets current coach, the Nets are bringing back Udoka because I think Udoka was previously with the team, I guess like as an assistant or something like that,
Okay.
to try and salvage a reeling franchise amid turmoil and a 2-6 start to the season. Now, it's interesting because Ime Udoka did some great things with the Boston Celtics. I mean, they had a great run. They made it to, if I'm not mistaken, the finals. So who better to bring into a reeling team than someone who was able to take a team to the finals in the previous season? So I'm not mad at the Brooklyn Nets. They're like, okay, well, you want to suspend the brother? We got some room for him over here. What do you think,
Well,
Lisa?
what I think is that somebody is realizing, like, hey, that is talent that is being sidelined. That is raw, pure talent that can make us some money. And we're not going
Yeah.
to let him sit on ice like that when he's valuable.
I mean, if you sleep on them, somebody else will pick them up. So it says Boston is not requiring draft compensation from Brooklyn to hire Udoka, but there are discussions that are taking place before a deal can be finalized. The Nets, who have lost 6 of 8 games to start the season, good Lord, will keep assistant Jack Vaughn as the acting head coach until Udoka can start the job. Now, Boston suspended Udoka for the whole 2022-2023 season for an improper relationship with a subordinate before training camp. But sources say the Celtics never planned to stand in the way of Udoka accepting another coaching job. I mean, how can you really? I mean, if you're going to suspend him for the whole darn season,
Exactly.
let the brother move on.
I think that was a nice way of the team saying, hey, we're not going to fire you, but we're going to make it such that you really going to have to get up out of here.
Look, we're not going to fire you, but we're going to put your whole situation on blast, even though whatever it is that happened should have been an internal issue, at least as far as I'm concerned. That was a human resources issue. That shouldn't have been something that was blasted all over. And then you punish him, but I'm trying to understand the punishment issue, because are you only punishing him because he was the head coach and maybe I guess she's considered a subordinate? Are you only punishing him because you feel he's the only one at fault in, this relation? It's just weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
All right, turn it over to you, Lisa.
Wow, well that's a really good one. So wait, he hasn't decided to take it, right?
I don't know. It looks like discussions are happening and there's no formal agreement yet. So they must be in negotiations because I'm not going to sit on ice for a whole season while another team figures out whether or not they think I'm worthy. I'm going to go
True.
where the opportunity is. At least my thought is that.
Well, it sounds like he's going to be dribbling right on over to
Hey,
the
from the
Nets.
Celtics to the Nets, he's only netted in.
Well, Sandy, I want to talk about how industrious young people are. And this article just kind of illustrates that. It's talking about a 28-year-old, no one in particular, but I think that's what's great about the article because it's talking about this guy. He's 28 who works 3.5 days a week and he makes $189,000 a year. And he's just a typical guy in America, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Well, let's talk.
I already have red flags. My little red flags is like,
here, here we go. So this article is supposed to illustrate how easy it should be for all of us to get out there and find very profitable side hustles and make really probably more money than our regular day jobs. So this guy starts off saying in 2018, he started experimenting with side hustles to pay off a $40,000 student loan and credit card debt. He did that. And in 2021, he built enough income streams to quit his $98,500 per year engineering job. That was nice in the first place, right? Oh boy, I just lost my point there. Hold on,
he
guys.
was making some bread already.
So he was already making some bread here. So that wasn't bad. But then he started several other income streams, and his biggest one is as an educational content maker on YouTube. So he makes money from that. He started a Patreon. You're the first person that told me about how Patreons work,
Right.
Sandy. And then he started a consulting service on Fiverr. And all of these businesses cost him less than $50 to set up. So he freelanced his business consulting skills on Fiverr. He used to run a store on Amazon, and he started talking to people about how to basically do product research to find out what people really wanted to buy, and people were really paying him for that information. So he did that, and he said, there's that part right there. He said, I put together a research report that included product details, where to manufacture it, a cost estimate, and profit analysis.
Right.
And his first year, he made $29,000 just doing that. That's just side hustle stuff. All right. Then let me see. Fiverr is free to join, and you'll only be charged a fee when you complete an order, but they do collect 20% of your revenues, and that's kind of a little bit up there. Then he started the Patreon. He said that cost him $50. And obviously, and I think what it is that YouTube doesn't charge you until someone actually pays you on the Patreon. It even says it here. You only pay to use the service once subscribers pay to join your group, and the Patreon charges between 5 and 12% of your monthly revenue. So that's another one that is really, it sounds like it definitely is a good thing. So, and then finally, he said he rented out his car on Turo. Have you heard of this?
Turo, I have heard about it. I don't really know anybody that personally uses it, but I have heard about it.
So this young man is pretty good, obviously, at doing some research. So he went out there and found the type of cars that are renting well out there in this platform of peer-to-peer car sharing. And so he found that the Polaris Slingshot was renting very well. So he went out, he paid $2,000 down, and his car note, I think he says about $400 here. And so he saw people renting that out for like $150 a day. And he knew that he only needed to do that for 3 days a month to break even. And so he did that. And in 2020, he made $5,700 plus dollars.
And Doug says it's like an Airbnb. Yeah, it makes sense. It's like an Airbnb for cars. So instead of you going to Enterprise, you can go on to Turo and get a car.
Exactly. So these are some nice little side hustles. And he said the one thing that I really like is about number two, as far as renting out the car. He
Mhm.
said so he doesn't have to meet with folks. He found a place to put a lockbox somewhere near his house or on the side of the house, so that once they qualified and checked out, then he would give them the instructions on how to get the keys.
Mm.
So just created a win-win situation all around. I just love the mindset of how people are thinking outside the box and finding their side hustles.
I definitely like that. I think I like to look at some pros and cons of the scenario. So I'm going to start with the cons. So some of the cons are, if you don't have a little bread set aside, like if you're just somebody that doesn't have any money and you're trying to do a bunch of side hustles, you got to be mindful of the unseen costs. And I'll start with the Turo aspect. It's a vehicle. So you're going to have certain expenses, just like, your regular expenses with a vehicle, maintenance, being mindful that strangers are going to be using your car. We're in the age of, I guess, COVID version 3. So
Yeah.
you probably want to do some extra disinfecting and things like that. Mechanical issues may arise that may put your vehicle out of service. So you want to have either some kind of plan for your vehicle, or
Mm-hmm.
hopefully a very reliable mechanic that is always on call, towing, all these things. And I think Turo has certain packages of sorts that you can kind of insure to protect, your interest in this vehicle and service needs and things like that. But you just have to think of those issues, because what happens if the driver crashes your car? Now your car
Right.
is out of commission, and yeah, you probably have insurance and other things, but you may lose out on some time and you're still having to pay that car note.
Right.
So if you don't have a little pocket of money set aside, that's the only danger I would say there. In terms of the other stuff, doing like Patreons and all of those things, I think those are very, very simple ways to get involved in making some extra money
Uh-huh.
without really putting out too much.
Right.
But I want people to be cautioned too of time. We don't calculate time into our expenses. It takes time for you to set up Patreon and be active there. It takes time for you to be active as a freelancer. It takes time for you to divide yourself up. And so I would just give those as some pushback of, be mindful of the types of side hustles that you do, because you're going to have to combine all of those into your regular, 9 to 5, or if you're an entrepreneur, mix it there. Now, the
Right.
positive is all of these things are pretty straightforward to do, with the exception of the Turo. You got to have a little money to put in,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all pretty easy things to get involved with, and they may not require you to kind of stretch yourself too much, because you can do them literally on the side.
Yep.
So I think those are great ideas, and I love how young people are just breaking the barrier of what we used to go through coming up.
Right. So this is totally thinking outside the box when folks are saying, well, I'm putting all these applications in online
Right.
and no one's responding back to me. I've, do 1,000 applications a week. Well, now these are other opportunities where you can create your own income streams. And I love it.
Facts. So, in talking more about businesses and the things that need to be cautioned about, Walmart thieves are getting real creative right now,
Oh, oh
and
boy.
they are targeting self-checkout. So, Walmart, you over there trying, I guess, save a buck or do some little automation and do this self-checkout and save on, I guess, staffing. I don't know what, but the thieves are getting really crafty. And it just takes them a couple of seconds, even with other customers and employees around.
Oh no.
So, cops are warning shoppers as thieves are targeting Walmart stores with a sneaky tactic that only takes them about 5 seconds to set up at self-checkout. Now, the criminals are finding new ways to steal from Walmart, which police say includes robbing information from innocent shoppers. So,
Huh?
what they're actually doing is they're alerting the public that a customer found a credit card skimmer attached to a self-checkout device at Walmart store in Richland, Washington. Now, the device was installed at 2 p.m. the prior day and was believed to have been active for about 26 hours. Video surveillance shows it took the male only 5 seconds to install the device while other customers and employees were in the area. And they're just warning people, look, it's important. Just like when you go to an ATM, you go to the gas pump, if you're going to use your card, you want to verify that there's nothing attached to the skimmer, because they can get your PIN numbers, all, your personal information from the card. People not playing right now.
Wow. So wait, I don't understand this. There's cameras everywhere.
Correct.
And so someone is just standing there putting on some suspect device right
Yes.
there in plain view.
Right.
And subsequently people are being duped, going up and using it, and then they just stand there and go back and collect the information.
Well, the skimmer is an electronic device, to my understanding, and I can't really tell you about how skimmers work. But what I do understand is when you swipe your card and a skimmer is attached, your information is being picked up. So I don't know if it's being picked up remotely or if they're coming back and getting it. And one of the main issues is the fact that, it can get your personal information. So if you've ever had an instance like I have, where I went to a gas station, used my card, and the next thing you know, my card is being used in like 10 states away, to purchase a hotel or to purchase groceries, or somebody ran up my card at 3 other gas stations. It happens all the time. It's just that we have to be on alert, because these devices are not really easily identified at times. And the reason that they caught this is because, like you said, they have cameras. So there was somebody that was triggered to someone doing something funny at the register, and then they discovered there was a skimmer attached.
So let me ask you about this then. So the skimmers attached, what does this article say what consumers should do to check?
Yeah. So, police said the skimmer device was removed in this particular instance, and they're not aware of other stores being affected, but they're basically saying, be sure that you check your card reader. So when you go to put your card in, pull on that piece that you're about to put your card in. Make sure that there's nothing that is attached there, that could potentially be a device that's doing anything. And they also said to be sure to check, the card read. It says to be sure to check card readers when shopping at stores and see if they've been altered. Like, also double check, like, see if there's something weird that doesn't look right. Also look around for possible cameras that may be pointing at card machines while you're paying, because you never know. Somebody may have come in earlier and set something up, maybe at another register or whatnot. So you just have to be on alert. And then when you're doing your PIN, you should cover the pad. You'll notice some of the pads now, they already have a cover. But you should just put your little hand over and do your PIN number, and make sure that, nobody is watching, you enter your PIN number.
So you shouldn't be standing there going 7 3 2 1.
You really got to chill out with your PIN number and make sure that you are not just revealing all of your information to anybody that stands by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. The things people do to try to scam us.
Well, I'm going to add to this. Now, here's something that is being done with Walmart. And I forgot to add this. Let me make sure I put this on the screen. So Walmart actually has some strategies to kind of curb this situation. So they basically have certain safeguards. And one of the major ones is that, when you're at self-checkout and somebody suspects, one of the Walmart staff suspects that you are doing something thievious, the employees utilize this little tricky device that interferes with you at that self-checkout. And they're able to basically, their software allows them to halt your scanning process, which pauses the register and then allows them to have an employee come to them. You know how the self-checkout has like a little notification that says, employee assistance. Assistance for customers. And basically it stops the register that they're working on and forces it so that the employee has to come to them. And then the worker, may do some stuff and be like, oh, something's not working here. Hey, we may need to bring you to a regular register, something like that. So they can make sure they scan in everything properly and that, they're not doing some funny business. So Walmart, is not sitting back on this. They're like, oh no, we're going to make sure that we double check that we are, upgrading our policies and procedures, our standard operating procedures. And that's just a tip for all business owners. When things happen, you have to reevaluate your processes, no matter what the thing is, whether it's theft, whether it's, maybe loss of funds in some way, whether it's undercharging someone, maybe you need to charge them more because you had to do more work. There's some things that you should be putting into place to make sure that you protect your business interests. And Walmart, they're like, oh no, you're not going to be stealing from us, bro.
Well, I have a news flash for everyone, and that is that Ross discounted department stores now has self-checkout.
Oh,
Yes.
snap. Another Target.
Yes, they do.
Another Target.
But if you have cash, you cannot use self-checkout over there.
Lord have mercy.
All righty. That's very interesting. Well, self-checkout is going to have to get a little bit wiser.
I can't, child. I can't. People really get crafty these days. And I think we've gotten, I guess, maybe more crafty as technology gives us more tools.
Absolutely.
So, guys, you are tuning into LearnBiz The Podcast. We are talking all current events and giving you some business tips to go along with them. Some funny, some crazy, some in between. Oh, shout out to my Sean Denise in the building. You know, when my Sean graces, she graces your podcast, you know, you have to give her a little moment.
You know, it's a good morning. Yes. Hi, my Sean Denise. I didn't get to say hi to Doug. Hey, Doug, as well. We appreciate you. My Sean Denise is very, very, very YouTube active. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, she has me rolling
she
daily.
Is the one to try. You can't even. I just get tired looking at all her. I'm like, this girl is so busy over here. She's making me tired.
Well, you need to get some spiders, makeup, weave. It's a little dance that has to go on when you're trying to tune into my Sean Denise. Spiders, makeup, weave. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it too. Well,
she said, y'all crazy. I just woke up.
Hey, you just woke up like just fabulous. I just woke up like this.
Look, yes. Spiders, wake up, weave. That's all you need to know. All right, back to you, Lisa. Let's go ahead with our next topic here.
All righty. So, you know, I do like talking about business news, obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
And as you know, social media has really kind of taken over when it comes to how people promote their businesses, right? Can you see this article right here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the top of it says that the Federal Communications Commission is calling for a TikTok ban.
Oh, how they gonna ban TikTok? That's where we get all the foolishness from. Like that's the land of foolishness.
The land of foolishness.
TikTok has, when I say TikTok be having some straight nonsense, like you start to wonder, why is our world the way it is? TikTok will give you some breakdown.
Right. That is true. That is true. So TikTok, oh yeah, I did that. I got to take it out so it doesn't look so. What just happened here?
I don't know. You just closed your screen.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
You don't see anything. So let's just keep talking for a second while I figure this out.
Well, I'm going to say something about TikTok. You know, TikTok has like, there's some benefits and there's some detriments. You know, what I love about TikTok is it gives you a lot of little tools, especially as a business owner, if you want to promote your business and do more creative things. And the type of content that you can, you know, engage in on TikTok is pretty great. But look at what my Sean says. This is where my content mostly comes from. It's the abyss to hell, aka TikTok. And that's no lie.
Check that out.
Let me tell you something. When my Sean will be doing like it's sometimes like on Fridays or Saturdays, she's just like, let's just take a look at what's going on TikTok. And it's literally, the words abyss to hell is like an understatement.
Exactly.
It's like, I just don't understand, like, why? Where do people come up with the foolishness? But there was something said not long ago in an article about TikTok and how TikTok, when it comes to, where's TikTok from? Is it China, I think? When it comes to the content that is put out there in China, they regulate. Like, they're not putting out trash. But the United States content, straight garbage. Doug says, yes, ban TikTok. According to some studies, their algorithm is dumbing the youth down and cultivating future narcissists and its spyware for the CCP. Wow.
Right.
I didn't know that.
That's exactly what this thing is coming down to. Like the US is very concerned about TikTok really misappropriating people's information and gaining access to thousands of users' information.
Yeah.
And so that is the real concern. And so the thing is should the US negotiate with them, or should the US just go ahead and just ban TikTok to just get over that concern? And I'm going to find, there was one particular quote that I wanted to find in here. But what do you think about the idea of banning TikTok when it's become so popular?
I think I'm torn, and one of the issues that I have is, especially when it comes to the youth usage of all social media, you know, where your parents? Where are your parents? Because if you are as youth using TikTok, there has to be some regulation. And then even when I get into my later teens and my 20s and my 30s, I still say, where are your parents? Let my mom catch me doing some foolishness and find out I'm on any social media doing some nonsense. At my ripe age of 45, my mom would snatch me. So where is your accountability? Where are your people? Because I'm going to take it back to remember that the twerking senator and her foolishness. I'm going to take it back to her. Where are her people? Where are your girls, your people, your family to say that's not it? We don't have that accountability stuff anymore.
And why are we giving away everything for free? We're teaching everybody how to dance, how to break it down, how to do all the latest dances. And what happens? There's a misappropriation of our culture constantly. So they are learning everything for free. And then when they do it, they get 300 gazillion followers or likes. And you do the dance, and then they do the dance, and then they get all the likes, and then they get the money that follows all that. So there's something wrong with how this thing is working out to me, as far as what you're saying is about the young people, and especially with them on there. But this is a quote there at the top there. It says, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, a multi-agency government body charged with reviewing business deals involving foreign ownership, spent months negotiating with TikTok on a proposal to resolve concerns that Chinese government authorities could seek to gain access to the data TikTok holds on U.S. citizens. This year, the company said it had migrated its user data to servers run by Oracle, and I believe that's a company based in the U.S., but concerns have persisted over whether China-based employees of TikTok or its parent, ByteDance, will still be able to access that information. Those bipartisan fears were again raised in September when, under pressure from U.S. lawmakers, TikTok, declined to comment to cutting off data flows to China. They did not answer that question.
Wow. Well, Doug says, look, national security, we need this to be banned. I'm like, dang, I didn't really think about all of this. My Sean says, because we don't know about business and won't listen to anyone. Man, when I tell you we really don't listen, we really, really don't listen. Doug says Republicans wanted to ban TikTok and now Democrats are getting on board. It's just a matter of time unless it's sold to a U.S. company. The saddest part about these types of issues is that, the technology is always great and beneficial, and there are great things that we can do with it. But these examples are always the examples that remind me that with all the greatness of technology, there are a lot of things that we have to be concerned about, particularly as it concerns national security, and as well as the things that are happening to the children. What are we doing in cultivating in our children? It's a lot of concern there. It's a lot of concern there.
Babies. What about the babies? We got to take care of the babies.
Like my Sean Denise says, these kids.
These kids.
I can't. With my Sean, we have to be dying. We got to do a review of my Sean. It's just hilarious. Like,
please, let's do that.
I can't with the stuff.
We can actually do a show talking about the successes in the YouTube platform, and we can use my Sean as a case study of what success looks like. And
my Sean is laughing, man, because my Sean is like, she's speaking. The thing that I love about my Sean is she's not just on here just trashing people. She's not just on here just saying, a bunch of foolishness. She's just hitting us with the reality of the situations, which is, what the hell are we doing?
Right.
And why are women doing this? And why are these men doing this? And why are these kids doing this? And why are these grandparents out here doing, like, she just hitting us with the reality. I know she did like a whole series on talking about the Section 8 housing and how you got some of these people on Section 8 for like 10 years, 15 years, waiting on lists for 10, 15 years. I'm like, dang, couldn't you have gotten a place to live by then? Like, a lot happens in 10 years.
Well,
But
yeah,
come on now. A lot happens in 10 years. You can't tell me you're just sitting there waiting on Section 8. What you mean? You don't have nothing else that can happen between now and 10 years from now?
And some people have just given up on things
you know
like
what,
that.
You know why they gave up, Lisa, though? That ching, that's why they're giving up, because there's going to be some free boat coming.
Well, Sandy, I remember concepts like that growing up in the hood of people, waiting on those checks every month. And when that check didn't come, sometimes I've seen people look like they were going to have some nervous breakdowns. And I mean, and the thing
look
is,
what Doug says. Doug says, where are these people living during the wait? Oh, I don't even know. I don't understand this. But go to my Sean Denise's channel. You'll be able to dissect all of those things.
It'll all be there for you. My Sean deals with it. She did. Hey, before we jump back to you, I'm just gonna ask to get your comment on a little quick article, not a long piece, and I think it's one that you're aware of, but you may not even want to talk about this. But I just think it's kind of interesting. Let's just bring it a second. Da-da!
So you want to go here? You want me to go crazy on this darn live?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Once you make a certain celebrity status, if you're not careful, all your family business news is going to be out there. And all your family news, personal business is going to be out there in the news, is what I'm trying to say. And so this case illustrates that Dwayne Wade's ex-wife files petition objecting to legally changing the daughter's name, Zaya's name, to the legal change of that. And
Sean says, uh-oh.
And so, I mean, in the sense, like, my thing, God, don't you wish that you could just keep your business private and not have all your personal stuff out there in the news like this?
I mean, you could, because you a parent and you could make some decisions, but again, I'm not a parent. I don't make decisions as a parent. I'm a very involved auntie, so I understand some of the things that parents deal with, but I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to dictate how a parent should do this, that, and the third. But I'm going to speak from the perspective as an individual, right? Mm-hmm. When we choose to put our information out there, we can't expect a filter to how the information is going to be received and responded to. And you want my Sean just took it right out of my mouth. It's almost like she saw the words coming out of my mouth. I want it all private, but they love putting their business out there. And in this particular situation, y'all put y'all business out there. And not only did you put your business out there, you were inviting commentary in the way that you were putting it out there. And then somehow you're shocked when certain aspects of our society are going to say what they got to say. So I don't.
That's the saddest part. Like, the idea of making money off of this hype. You know what I mean? Of getting more TikTok or social media views or more whatever. I mean, I just think that's awful if that is how someone would be using a transgender child like this and their issues. I mean, do they get to have any peace about growing up at all?
Doug says, forget that. Dwayne Wade is wrong for parading his son around like this. I mean, understand, there's a large segment of our society that thinks this way. Completely. And so when you are facing all kinds of things in society in terms of people's thoughts, processes, and what people process as this transgender process, you're going to have a lot of different reactions. My reaction is, I don't care what you're doing. It don't got nothing to do with me. That should have been your personal, private information. Right. The moment that you decide to put your stuff in this public space, you can't now be upset when your ex is blasting everything in the public because you're putting it in the public.
That's
and I'm
true
just,
now.
and then here's another point my Sean is going to make that I really believe here. The mom is a little late because that child has been transitioning for a while now. And it's funny because Dwayne Wade posted something on his social media because he was like, oh, I'm going to have to say something. And my Sean says changing the name is the least of what's happened. I firmly believe there's a lot of weird little things going on. And it's interesting to me because obviously there's some other things at play here. As someone who's done a bit of family law and understands some of that nuance there, for him to get custody in the way that he has it, there's something at play there too. There's some other things going on there. And then the way he's commenting on social media, it's like, she's not even involved in the child's life. That's what he's saying. She's not even involved in the child's life for her. So for her to be trying to make comment now, where you been for all these things. But at the same token, it's two parents making decisions for a child. Obviously, she has the right to have a voice.
That's right. Because if he files a name change petition, you have to also seek consent from the other parent. So she has a right to state her position because that is still her child, and she still have some type of parental authority, obviously, to be able to voice her opinion on what should be happening with her child.
Yeah, so now they're going to be taking that to the court. My Sean said the kid wanted all this info out there, and D Wade went along with it. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me in this day and age, especially this is a child of privilege. This is not a child that grew up like the rest of us. This is a child of privilege. So definitely has more of a voice than many folks. And my I can't go to y'all to go DeSantis, don't say gay. I cannot. And my Sean said he's pretty now though. My Sean, I cannot with you right now this morning. I can't deal with the foolishness. I gotta go to that Luke Bryan and DeSantis story. I'm done. I'm so done this morning. I mean, all in all, the only reason that you're getting all of this feedback, I remember not long ago, Dwayne Wade stopped the comments on some postings and stuff like that. I'm like, bruh, nobody needed to be involved in all your conversations about your child. Now, if you wanted it out there, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to deal with the results of that. If you put something out there, you can expect public reaction. And it's not always going to be reaction that you're going to appreciate. Exactly. That's all I got to say. Let me get off this soapbox.
Yeah, okay. That's all I want to say. That whole piece was about, like, when you make it to that certain celebrity status, how do you keep your personal business personal? Because like you said, once you cross over and put it out there, that's on you how it's treated. So
why you got to mention DeSantis for? Why you got to mention DeSantis? I already be salty about DeSantis and his foolishness. He can stop the comments on the post, but the blogs will repost and they will comment there. And the blogs light this whole situation on fire every time. And the commentary is so interesting because it's like some of the men have certain perspectives, some of the women have some perspectives. You'll see some mixed perspectives. Some of the transgender community has a perspective. Some of the gay community has a perspective. Like, it's just so crazy, the diversity in ideas. And it's just like, I just be sitting there looking like, you could have kept your mouth shut.
Wow. Well,
why we needed to know.
Let me get on that level, and I'm going to find those celebrities who the only time you see them is when they're ready to put something out. I'm going to give you a good example. Taylor Swift. You don't hear from Taylor until she's ready to, whatever's going on. She could be in therapy. She could be going through all kind of changes, but you're not going to hear none of her business until she's ready to put it out there. Dwayne Wade and his family need to take a lesson from them.
Let it have been Beyonce and Jay-Z. We wouldn't have found out until the child was 50 years old. This stuff would have been under wraps. We still can't find out why Solange was laying legs on Jay-Z. We still in the dark about that whole story. All we're doing is speculating about how them legs were rised to the tone of Jay-Z a few times. So I'm done.
There we go.
I'm sorry. She's saving it for the music. So we're gonna hear it in a song. That's what we go.
Is that what it is?
Beyonce always comes out with all the information in the songs, because every time you hear a song that's talking very illicitly about what she's feeling, she's talking about Jay-Z. His little.
Let me tell you something. Beyonce, speaking of Beyonce, and I know we need to stay focused, but speaking of Beyonce, her songs are all about therapy. Because you know what? Lately, now I used to quote the 23rd Psalm, and I still do. But lately, when somebody messing with me or something's messing with me, I've been running around going, "You won't break my soul.
Stop it.
You won't break my soul."
Lisa, you know when I'm so done, the thing that I hate about all of Beyonce's whatever is it's so freaking catchy. Even if you don't like her or don't like her music, you will find yourself jamming to Beyonce some way, shape, or form. Now, the other thing that I have to comment is this is why I don't idolize folks, because what you singing you won't break my soul for.
I said,
you Beyonce.
Done to her? What they did to her?
What did they do to Ye? Beyonce. I'm done.
The other Ye.
The other Ye. I'm done. Let me close us out, because I we just gonna be dying laughing, and I'm gonna be tired, and I won't be able to do no work today, because I really don't want to work anyway. So let's talk about something a little on the somber tip. I don't want to close it on a somber, but I think all this Black Panther hype that we experienced when Black Panther came out was just so it was just so on a different level. And it became almost not even about the movie. It became about like some kind of like a underlying concept, like seeing ourselves in a different light that's more creative, and just another world that's all Black and all these things. And there were some mixed reviews. Like, I know some folks that didn't like Black Panther. They didn't feel like it was this, that, and the third. I know some folks that absolutely love it. I know some folks that seem to think that Wakanda actually exists. I'm sorry to tell y'all, they ain't no Wakanda. Now there may be some
to the land of
Wakanda. We can't. So this tonight, ABC is doing Black Panther in Search of Wakanda. It's airing tonight on ABC. And it's basically coming in with the release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I don't know when the film is coming out, because I think it should be soon, but it's just interesting to see that, this whole movement continues.
I love it.
It's just sad that, Chadwick Boseman is not here to continue the storyline. The other thing that came out with this whole part is Chadwick Boseman's wife recently spoke out. She spoke with Whoopi Goldberg on, I think it was like Good Morning America, or I don't remember what show it was. But she recently spoke out, about the experience that she's been going through, and the scholarships and things that they have going on. And, Howard University has, named a building, the Performing Arts building, after Chadwick Boseman. Nice. And they also have scholarships for students. And the first group of students to receive scholarships just happened not long ago. So there's some great things happening in the name and legacy of Chadwick Boseman. And it just goes to show you that even beyond your presence here on this planet, there is the opportunity for you to continue to leave a legacy in your business, to leave a legacy with your name, and to leave a legacy with your family. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see her kind of dealing with the aftermath, and of course seeing his imagery and things like that, because he was such a bigger than life personality, and everybody that talks about him always has some fantastic things to say. But it's really a great thing to see, and I hope that you guys catch this 2020 special, or I'm sure you'll probably catch some of the stuff on social media, because we always have clips to refer to. But that's just a beautiful way to remember his legacy and see how they're taking things forward. Now, I don't know necessarily if I like the direction that the series is going to go at this point, because I don't even understand what they're doing right now, and they're kind of changing certain things that I don't get. But it is a sign of the times and some of the foolishness that we engage with. But that's all I got.
What's beautiful, though, is that the legacy of Black Panther continues. And yes, that's what's important, because, with that, then we're going to have Black actors and actresses and filmmakers and all kind of folks involved in the industry.
Right.
And so that part is really, really great.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
So I missed a couple of comments. I need to go back just one little drop. We were talking about the people waiting for the Section 8 housing, and Doug was asking about where they're gonna live and stuff like that. And Doug has said, I can see maybe waiting for a year. It's sad people rather be lazy and stagnant instead of increasing their skills for progress. It's confusing to me. And I don't understand the whole concept, and I don't know if it's so ingrained in certain people's lives, legacy wise. I mean, it must be something that's passed on. And then my Sean responded, there's too much opportunity for them to stay in that place for so long. Free isn't always worth it. And I just don't understand, there's so many things that can happen in your life with you making some minor adjustments and changes and finding things that you can do. And then right now with the age of technology, if nothing else, start a YouTube channel.
Hey.
Post some content on social media. Maybe you go viral. Sell something online. Create something in the house. Cook something. I don't know. But there's a way right now that maybe in the past we didn't see. But there's so many opportunities right now just with the technology that is literally in our hands. And you'll notice most people have cell phones, no matter what economic status they're in. Most people have cell phones. At the bare minimum, use your phone to, change your life.
Absolutely. And we have to think about alternates to social media because we don't own these platforms and kind of like easy come, easy go. Yeah. And if that happens, we have to already be thinking about the next thing. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They think about what is missing out there in industry and how they can help fill the gaps. And so we better be thinking about things like that, entrepreneurs.
You said something that just triggered me. Elon Musk and all his foolishness with taking, over Twitter. He's been going back and forth with people on Twitter, talking about would you pay $8 to have a blue check mark or some nonsense. And it's just interesting to me that you were mentioning, about thinking outside of social media. Many times we rely on social media. We use it. We grow our following, we grow our base, but we don't realize that they'll shut us out of our Instagram. They'll shut us out of our Twitter, our YouTube, our Facebook, Patreon, whatever. They'll shut you out, especially if you make commentary that may go against something, or they don't like something that you said, or the owner has an issue, like an Elon Musk type owner. They'll shut you out of your own darn account. So if you don't have anti-Semitic, you better have a text message list. You better have an email list. You better have your own website. You better have a home to back up all your content, because if whatever platform decides to shut you out, you don't got nothing. Whatever monies you were bringing in or what, you don't got nothing. So you always have to have your backup. I see a lot of people, having their own financial links, having their own pages, having email lists. Some people have mailers and newsletters and all kinds of stuff. Text messaging communications are really big right now. And there's a lot of services that provide that. So definitely, guys, as entrepreneurs, especially for those of us that are content creators, get yourself organized to protect your following, to protect your content. And my Sean says facts. She's like, as I go through my probation. Oh, shoot, my Sean, you were on probation. She said, gotta have backup plans. What, my Sean, why they hating on you, man? You just spitting facts. It's not your fault that some things just go left field if the people want to be doing some stuff. Let's see
if we can get my Sean Denise to just actually join us one morning and talk about some of these issues. I think this thing goes deeper, a lot deeper than a lot of people realize about the control. When you go so far, they control you and rein you back in.
Well, again, all of these platforms are not our platforms. We're on here. I could have said something right now, and somebody from whatever, somebody who doesn't like something that I said, and next thing you know, this video is blocked, or our channel is blocked, right? So it's just, we have to have a hold in some way, shape, or form. Whatever content you're putting out there, you're going to have a backup in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, we're all guilty of it. We have some backups, but we don't have all backups.
But you're making me think about other things, like you said, like text messaging to clients and former clients, thinking about using newsletters and other forms of like email communication.
We got to go back.
Having a plan B is actually a really good thing right about now in this day and time.
Oh, snap. My Sean said they went back into the archives to find. Now, those are the worst ones to me. How you going backtrack and you want to find something and try to mess up what I got going on? What's the problem? Like,
it didn't mess. Hopefully it didn't mess with your money.
Definitely not our platforms. You never know. Well, my Sean got much love. So I know that we're going to hit you up on Cash App. I completely forgot because I haven't seen your what is it called? YouTube, whatever the YouTube money thing is. But I'll definitely send you some Cash App, because I think your content is amazing, and you definitely provide a voice to get our minds right. I don't know what's going on in this foolishness that they called social media. And she said, yes, I'm demonetized. Heck no. Wait,
No.
so what happens, my Sean, when you're demonetized? Does that mean you can never be monetized again, or do you have to just rely on other things like a Cash App or other financial things? So that's something important that we probably need to hit up
Yeah,
on.
I think we
what?
should get my Sean on here and just like to educate us on that piece specifically. I think it's a great content for people. Okay.
She said, you both are awesome. We'll be glad to come on the program. All right, my Sean, we're going to send you a DM on Instagram, and we'll get this coordinated. But thank you so much for your feedback and being so open with that, because you didn't have to tell, anybody.
Absolutely.
They
Thank you.
But
this
guys,
this is how we learn from each other. But thank you so much for being one of the ones to educate.
Awesome. Well, I mean, this is LearnBiz. This is where you learn how to build and grow and scale your business, and make sure that you understand that the news, the current events that are going on in our world impact us as entrepreneurs and affect our ability to continue to sustain. And if we learn nothing else, we got to learn from each other. So thank you, my Sean, for that important lesson. All right, so guys, we're gonna try not to hit no hour, because we can tend to be long-winded and just run our lips.
I do have to say that on our next show, one of the things I'm going to bring up are business coaches, the value of business coaches. I've heard some talk said that some of the most successful people in the world have business coaches. So we need to talk about that, because I'm thinking not everyone can afford one, but it sounds like we all need one.
TGIF, my Sean. Yes, I had a business coach for a brief period of time in more of a group setting. I think it helped me transform my mindset on a lot of things and helped me make some changes in my business that have been very, very positive. It cost me a little bit. I had to spend a little bit of money, but I didn't spend too much. So sometimes you can get a coach in a group setting. Sometimes you get a coach in a more electronic setting. And to me, it does make a difference. And I've seen some great things from some of my friends and colleagues who have used business coaches. Now, you got to be careful now. There's some folks out here. I ain't going to mention no names, but there's some folks out here, putting up some smoke screens, and the only thing they're doing is taking your money. So you want to keep that in mind too. Doug says, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much, Doug. All right, guys. Another great one from LearnBiz The Podcast. Please click like, click share, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to catch us on Instagram at B-is-for-B-I-Z. Lisa, we got to do a live stream. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes.
Yep.
Have a great day, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.